I was 14 years old when I stepped for the first time in my life on the land of Egypt, not even thinking that a few years later I will walk on the same roads, gazing the pyramids again, and this time not as a tourist, but as a proud Muslim who will have left her home for the sake of God. Egypt charmed me from the first moment with the hospitality and kindness of its people towards me and my family, the fascinating atmosphere of the bazaar, and the unusual but very pleasant melody of the Arab language. That time, Islam only fascinated me as an interesting part of their culture, but not more. Returning home, I hopelessly fell in love with Egypt. I joined the language center to learn Arabic, and I started my endless reading marathon about the Arab people. During my early high school years, I became one from the chaotic mess living my life as a typical teenager with its typical fooleries. I grew up, jumped into the big freedom, and just drifted with the tide. My first obvious thought was to go to church, as I was from a non-practicing Catholic family, but I shortly found out that Christianity is full of contradictions and false claims. God had something better in store for me. Exactly at the time when I felt that something is wrong in my life and needs to be fixed, God put me in the most perfect place I could have ever been. I was an active volunteer of an international NGO in my hometown, in Budapest, who offered me to represent them in an EU-organized conference, educational exchanges involving people with Muslim cultural background. They sent me, and I couldn't conceal how happy I was to meet Egyptians again after a long time. God gives everything at its appropriate time, and I witnessed this. The conference was the first time I truly realized that Islam is not only the religion of Arabs and Turks, but its message is to everyone, regardless of their background, nationality, or language. At the end of it, being eager to know more about Islam, I firmly knew what my next step was going to be. Surfing on the internet, I realized that I'm not alone with the issue of Islam. I found many forums with Hungarian converts, and I exchanged emails with a very lovable Muslim sister who invited me to a gathering of a group of Muslim women where a knowledgeable lady was giving lectures based on the verses of Quran. They all welcomed me warmly, and I felt very comfortable with them, let alone that the lecture really touched my heart. Each meeting charged my soul with lots of energy and kept me motivated. I couldn't put down the books I got from them. I learned from YouTube videos how to pray, and I even memorized the first chapter of Quran, Al-Fatiha. Yet, I was still not a Muslim. However, all my questions were answered in such a logic by Islam. I wanted to get more and more confirmation that I am on the right path. I was also afraid of the consequences of my decision, which would change my whole life completely, as well as worried about the reaction of my family, my classmates, and teachers. As every new Muslim, I couldn't escape as well from the shocking reaction of my family and friends. The change wasn't one day to another. They already knew that I was attending lectures in the local mosque, that I am frequently meeting with Hungarian converts. They saw me praying even before reverting to Islam, so they know I'm interested in Islam. But they thought it's just a short-term interest. Soon, I will forget about it. But I didn't. And when they asked me about my new outfit, the books I read, I honestly told them, I'm a Muslim. I was frequently asked, why Islam? You're Christian. If you want to be religious, why don't you practice Christianity? The faith is in your heart. You don't need to show it to the world. It happened 9 years ago. Once, while going to the weekly gathering, I was reading a book about those people who pass away in the state of ignorance without witnessing the oneness of God and that Muhammad is his messenger. The book was like telling me, what are you waiting for? What if your bus makes an accident right now and you die? That was the moment when I was not able to delay the decision anymore, and felt that no matter what comes to me, I must witness in front of those girls who encouraged me in the last few weeks. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. I felt like Mount Everest felt away from the heart. That's my story, how Allah gifted me with His guidance, which led me out from darkness to the light of Islam.